it is shown here is one of those electrical outlets that will have been directed to the power charging stations outside the pyramid. Here's a closer look. Now, this is the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid was designed to contain 3 power sending units. It is believed that the pyramid was during the time of Khufu or Cheops, and designed by a person or architect named Imhotep. Here's the Great Pyramid inside view. As you can see, there's one chamber. It's a subterranean chamber, and the second one is called Queen Chamber, and the third one, the King Chamber. What you see here, the shaft, they're called air shafts. Only the top ones at the King Chamber are ventilation or air shafts. The 2 air shafts coming from the Queen Chamber are or were used for grounding polarity of the whole pyramid, the whole structure. Right, here's another view. The way they would have done this to flood the pyramid was that they had an aqueduct right here, and they would release the water. Right here, there's a valve, which you can see down here, and they would have closed it up, use the pressure system to get it to both the Queen Chamber and the King Chamber for cooling of the electrical heat and the living environment. Here is the chamber at the subterranean level. Here you can see it again. It would be on this side, and the wiring will go up towards the Queen's Chamber, which is this. This is a photograph of the Queen Chamber, and if you can notice on each side, right here and right here, those shafts were used for grounding polarity purposes, as we can see. We will see in a second. And directed to the capacitor, which was right here, located right here, the capacitor. And the wiring then will have gone to the niche inside that cavity. In those shafts that I shown you at the Queen's Chamber in the prior photograph, these doors were found. And what they are the grounding polarity wiring for the entire pyramid on both sides. They have, I show you the system they have. Also, these were found in there, and what they are the wires receiver for the grounding polarity purpose. Here is the grounding of the whole pyramid on one side shown This represents that shaft that the queen enters or directs from here, where that one of those doors were found. They're located back here, and the wire will exit at the one of the shafts in the queen chamber, and the system will work like this. On each side of the pyramid. Okay, here it is again, and please notice that there's a cavity right here, an opening that from the grounding system that would have gone to any of several outlets of the pyramid. See? Right here you can see it more clearly. Here is the queen chamber again, and they would those wires would have exit this way towards here and this way towards here. They had a jet pillar from the prior art, so they knew and the graphic here indicates that what we call the sarcophagus is just the living environment for the power sending eels, and this will represent the wire towards from the power sending unit towards the capacitor. Notice the slanting of the floor is designed for right here on this corner for draining, and so was this part right here of the sarcophagus. It's the living habitat. It was designed like this so that it would have drained some water and cleaning purposes. Here's one of another one of those. Let's call it a jet here. Capacitor. Here's my rendition. Simple, because this is very simple. See, this represents the ground polarity from both shafts at the queen chamber, and connected to the circuit of the voltage regulator or capacitor, and exiting behind this niche right here. That is this one right here. To that niche, you get to this door right here, that you could send the wires to the king chamber above. It's a simple representation of okay. What is shown here is a cavity or opening that you could access the king chamber transformer or capacitor to process that energy. Here's my rendition of my capacitor. Simple but effective. Right here. And these would have exit through here and connect to the grand gallery, which also was a capacitor. This modern view of how it would have be done, but with the materials then, you know, they did it. Here's another view of the King Chamber transformer. It would have been up here, an exit through here to the Grand Gallery. Through this opening, the wiring from the King Chamber would have input to the Grand Gallery voltage regulator, capacitor. Here's a view of the Grand Gallery or capacitor. Another view. Another view. Please notice these openings. I believe there's about 23 of them on each side of the gallery. There's another view. Here you can see them again, both sides. That's that opening for the input of the power from the King's Chamber. That's the prior art. And please remember the characteristics and the construction of the wiring and insulation on this depiction. Here's a view of the Grand Gallery. If you can see, the same characteristics shown on the prior picture of the wiring are shown here. Right here. Here are those cavities again, or openings. And this is my depiction, or my effort to explain how the wiring would have been installed on the Grand Gallery. Simple, just wooden poles. This represents a wooden plank that would have hold the wires on each level. This just one level that I did here, but these were bigger and stronger to support the upper levels of the wiring all around it. And the water would have gone through here up to the Queen and King's Chamber to cool down the system and preserve the life of the power sending unit, the electric eel. Here's a simple wiring of the Great Pyramid. First we begin with a live wire from the subterranean power sending unit towards the Queen Chamber, which has the ground polarity from both sides on the pyramid, grounding like this, the whole pyramid, and directed both of them, power and grounding, to the voltage regulator or capacitor of the King Chamber. It would have they both would exit here and connect to the Grand Gallery through that cavity that I showed you before, and go all the way down to the end of the Grand Gallery, exiting through one of these outlets, electrical outlet. And again, directed to the power charging stations outside of the pyramid, which were this outside. The same decay. Power charging station. The top of the pyramid, and you can see an opening. There were also two other openings directed at some constellations, something like this. But the Great Pyramid would have one towards like that, and one like this, and three of them. This is the Sphinx. As you can see, there's an opening right on top, on the back of the Sphinx, and there's a power shaft in there. Here you can see there's two cavities inside the body, and the Sphinx had the same equipment or operation of the pyramids, just that they changed the appearance of it to a hybrid, a lion, between a lion and a human being. Here you can notice that that they found that there's a large chamber, and here's a smaller chamber, which are biological sending power units on the Sphinx. Right here's another view from the top. And what you see, these channels, both of these channels enter the Sphinx through the back, and they're coming from the pyramids. On the using the draining from the radiator draining from the pyramid towards the going back to the Nile, but they used to power the Sphinx and take advantage of that to power this power unit and this power unit. What you see here, these two openings right here, were the two voltage regulators, capacitors, digital pillars, and they were located on each shoulder of the Sphinx. Right about here, you see this opening right here. They were the shoulders. They were located right there, one on each side. There's that cavity again for the one of the power chambers. If you can notice too, there's an opening right here under the ear, and it's